What's going on, y'all? So listen. What's going on, y'all? So we are back again for another episode review of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, closing out the season 12 final reunion. This is part 3. So we get into, why Nene left and has anybody ever been kicked off the reunion, or not kicked off the reunion, but whoever been just left, got up and left the reunion? And nobody ever has. The only person that ever had to really leave the reunion was Portia when she got into her thing with Kenya and they sent her home, but they are already home. And so Nene just chose to leave. And, of course, you got Kenya and Eva talking about some, when it gets hot in the kitchen, you can't take the heat in the kitchen, you get out and all that stuff or whatever. And that is basically what's going on. I mean, to be quite honest, I understand that Nene probably in her own mind, in her own way, felt as though people was ganging up on her or whatever. But you come to a reunion show to take accountability, to defend yourself, to say exactly what it is that you need to say, and to hear what other people have to say, whether or not you feel like they ganging up on you or not. This is your time to defend yourself, to speak your mind. And I feel like Nene should have stayed. I don't know, like stay since you the queen, as you say, since you a bad bitch or whatever. I really wish that she would stay and spoke her mind, because that's what the reunion for. We like to hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if it's some false shit or whatever, bitch. I want you to sit there and I want you to speak out your goddamn ass, okay? That's what I wanted you to do. But, at this particular moment, Nene is gone. The laptop is closed, okay? And so they get back into running the package that they was running right when Nene got up and left. And it was basically about Kenya and Cynthia's relationship, and how Cynthia, and Kenya mesh with each other, and it seems like Kenya was just throwing shade sometimes, and sometimes they'd be cool, and then sometimes it's just like the shade would just come out of nowhere. They spoke about the one of the big topics was her. Kenya, did Cynthia feel like Kenya was spilling the tea and trying to ruin Cynthia's engagement party? Her surprise engagement. And at this point, Cynthia said when she first was in the mix of it, she didn't think so. But when she saw it play back, it was like, why would you do some mess like that? Because you obviously, Candy told you what was going on. And, Kenya's whole thing is, well, I didn't really I wasn't trying to, mess up her engagement. I didn't know if it was going to happen that day or whatever, but I knew that it was going to happen. She's been talking about an engagement and all this stuff. Her excuse that she was giving, I was like, girl, you're full of shit. And I'm going to tell you why you're full of shit. You're full of shit because Candy literally, regardless of how many times Cynthia has said, listen, girl, I'm ready to get engaged. This man is gonna do it this day or that day. No, I don't know what day is coming, but bitch, it's coming. It's coming. I feel it in my spirit. I feel it in my bone. Okay, she could tell you that each and every day, but it did not take upon yourself. You took it upon yourself to tell her that I think he's gonna propose to you right after Candy sent you the text saying that he 9/10 is gonna propose to her. So you knew what was going on. You knew raggedy shit. You knew exactly what was going on, and that wasn't your place, and it was fucked up. Okay. A lot of the viewers didn't take well to her in the wine comment, trying to make it seem like, she's supposed to, like one viewer said, she's a retailer of wine, not a person that knows what pairing this and pairing that. She just sells the shit. She not, a wine connoisseur that actually knows what pairs and goes with this or whatever. And why would you come at her like that when you was in Greece? And, Kenya admitted that, yeah, she was wrong for that. She was kikiing at first, and then it got a little bit worse or whatever, so she tried to explain that away. Then they get into this whole thing about the cookie lady or whatever, and why Kenya felt the need to bring her and all this stuff. And then you going in on Cynthia and you throwing her under the bus. And it was like, at this point, what's the difference? Okay, Cynthia said, bitch, the difference is I told the lady, because Kenya had to put out there, like, listen, at the beginning, I didn't even know that she had already talked to the girl. Okay, at this point, she had already said some shit to the girl, invited her to Brooklyn's party, whatever, or whatever, and wanted her to talk to Tanya. That was unbeknownst to me. Like, you didn't already did this shit, but you getting in your feelings because I'm telling her. Cynthia said, listen, bitch, the reason why, no. The difference is I told Kenya, no, Tanya beforehand. See, Kenya was mad that Cynthia had told Tanya what was up beforehand, and that's why she did what she did, according to Kenya. Cynthia said no. And the reason why I said and I invited her to the thing is because I had already told Tanya, and it wasn't in a malicious way. It was in a way like, girl, this is what's going on. And so I invited the cookie lady, not in a way to come there and to, trample down on Tanya, but for them to actually have a goddamn conversation. It was in a key manner. Okay. And at this point, Candy and Portia and they like, but that's still the same thing. Like, you still bringing her there to confront her at somebody else's place and catch her off guard or whatever. And then, she was like, no, because see, the difference between me and Kenya's situation is Kenya was already pissed off at her. I wasn't pissed off at her, okay? So why would I be trying to set her up or whatever? And I said, Cynthia, I'm gonna have to agree with Candy on this. Either way, it was a little fishy, but I get what she trying to say. She didn't have no malicious intent behind it. Whereas Kenya, she was upset. I ain't gonna say it was one. It was I ain't gonna use the word malicious, but Kenya was upset at what happened, and so we already knew that she set that shit up for the cookie lady to come there and to like rain down on Tanya's ass. And of course, Tanya is on Team Cynthia at this point. Um. Y'all, excuse me. I'm gonna try to get through this the best that I can and as much as I can. They out there partying. Listen, it's the Memorial Day weekend. It's damn near 90 degrees outside, if it's not 90 degrees. And the music has been playing on and off all damn day. At one particular point before they just started to fuck back up, they was out here playing the wheels on the bus go round and round, bitch, okay? London Bridges is falling down, and Bingo, there was a farmer that had a dog, and Bingo was his name, Bingo. It was going on all day, okay? I don't have time. But hopefully it don't pick up in the video, because y'all know how my neighbors are. I mean, bouncy house and everything. Motherfuckers don't give a shit about social distancing when the weather gets warm and shit, okay? Y'all is antsy as hell, bitch. But anyway, so that was going on. They talked about the relationship between Nene and Kenya, with Nene saying, I mean Cynthia, when Nene was saying how Cynthia lets Kenya do and say whatever to her, and it's like, Cynthia, are you scared to talk to her or to tell her about herself? And Cynthia said, no, I'm not. And I said, Cynthia, I understand that you say that, but it looks like you scared to say it sometimes. Like, you really let her get away with some stuff. And I do agree with Nene on that point when you said that sometimes it feels as though if Nene was to say some shit like that to you, you probably would have tried to tell her, no, bitch, okay? But then again, she probably wouldn't, because she let Nene run over her these whole years too. And like they said, you just replace one toxic or one person of the same personality with another person of the same personality. Nene and Kenya damn near the same thing in the same way, in the way that they treat Cynthia, and Marlo was talking and asking, do you think like Nene, if Nene was here, would you be able some shit with Nene? And at this point, Cynthia said, me and Nene will never be the same, okay? Things will never be the same. After she done seen some shit on the show and what was said and what was done, it will never be the same. They tried, it's over, it's done with. That's how I feel with it, okay? I can't keep trying with people, but Cynthia want to be Nene friends regardless. I just don't know. Cynthia basically said the difference between Nene and her Kenya is the fact that when Nene comes at her or Kenya comes at her, Kenya is the first one to apologize, whereas Nene doesn't, and that's what she was talking to with Marlo when Marlo asked, do you think if Kenya was not around, would y'all still be friends, you and Nene? And she said no. No, we will be in the exact same place that we are right now. Because it would have been something else that they had a falling out about. It truly would have. So, we trying to understand where Nene at. Has anybody spoken to her? Andy did get a message talking about Nene told one of the producers or whatever they need to put some respect on her name or whatever. Like I already said, Nene, you should have stayed and fought this out. Especially when you still got segments up that came up right after this, talking about the fact that Eva found out that Yvonne posted something on Instagram saying let's clear the air, whatever, and she looking all dressed up, and then it's like as soon as Giovanna posted that a minute later, that's when Nene left, so I feel as though Nene, once again, you should have stayed so that you can defend your character if you can, if you care to, and just do what you gotta do. Fuck these girls or whatever and say your piece. That's what I felt like, cause I ain't finna let no bitch, I don't give a fuck if I'm at home or not. You ain't finna run me off no show that I claim that I'm the queen of, that I'm an OG of, that I'm the last original person of. Bitch, please, okay? I'ma sit my ass down. What the fuck you gotta say? Okay, next bitch. Okay, I got something for that. I'ma put you on pause, bitch. What you gotta say? And I'll run down on all of their asses. But see, Nene didn't do that shit, I'm disappointed in that shit. But, it is what it is. And then they get into this whole segment between that would have been spicier probably, and I don't even think we probably would have got anywhere because at this point in time, we don't even know. I'm pretty sure King don't even know, and I'm pretty sure Nene probably don't even realize exactly what it is why they beef amongst each other because it happened so long ago. It's just that these two have just never really meshed well, okay? And I feel like Kenya and Nene is just like Candy and Nene. They cool for the most part. They can be cool for the most part. They can be cordial, but some people just aren't meant to be 100% friends and good homegirls or whatever. They're just good to be associates and acquaintances. Well, no, in this situation, associates and co-workers. That's basically it, okay? They going around asking all the girls what it is that you feel like that started the argument, why they don't get along. They can't even tell you, okay? Kenya said basically, she wanted Nene to be on the show. She advocated for her to be on the show. She, was like the show needed her, especially when she left the show that one particular season. And she just felt like she never got that back. And one of the times where Nene and her were cool, she said she felt like it was a tactic for her to be cool with her so that she can have somebody to be cool with on the show or whatever. It wasn't genuine. They asked about, them reaching out to one another and things like that, and how Nene would apologize or was coming in trying to apologize or trying to show interest like she wanted to be cool or whatever, because even Cynthia said that too. And Kenya just never felt like Nene was coming from a sincere place, and I can understand where she's coming from in that aspect, because when you are on the outs with everybody and you are coming in and you feeling like you was once the hot dog, the OG, the bitch on top, and now all of a sudden it seems like you're the underdog, like people don't give a fuck about you the last person out, you the outcast, so maybe let me just go ahead and make up with these girls so I can have somebody to film with or whatever. It probably felt like that, so let me go ahead and say these little fuck up apologies, whether I believe it or I'm sincere about it or not. Do I feel like Nene was being 100% sincere in all of her apologies? Not in all of them, but most of them. And do I feel like, especially when Cynthia wanted her to talk, like when it came to her marriage or whatever, I do feel like Nene was trying to be sincere enough with Kenya right there, but I'm not mad at Kenya for not saying and groveling and just going ahead right off the back and be like, okay, bitch, I take that and I forgive you or whatever, because it's too much shit that has been said. Too much shit, and I understand where Kenya is coming from, all right? Because once you go out your way to say this shit, to say that shit, to mudsling me, and then I'm mudslinging you, and then we supposed to talk it out or whatever, and I'm supposed to forget about what I said about you, and you supposed to forget about what you said about me, and we said some harsh shit about each other. That don't work with me, okay? That don't work for me, and we just not gonna rock. You can apologize, I can say I accept or whatever, but that don't mean that we have to be friends and stuff like that. And that's how it should have been left, okay? They should have been able to come to a point where they can sit down and have an honest conversation with one another and just leave that shit on the floor and realize that at the end of the day, we will never be friends. It's too much water under the bridge. And but when I see you on the street, you see me on the street, if we say hello to each other, that is 100% okay. I won't say shit about you in the media. Don't say shit about me in the media or to anybody else. And we'll be 100% fine because we fixed the issue, we did it, and we moving on like adults. But that didn't happen. You know, Marlo want to be her mouthpiece because Kenya said Nene never reached out to her when you know, she was going through her high risk pregnancy, and Andy said, did you reach out to her when she was going through the shit with Greg? And Kenya said yes. Marlo want to come out and say no, you didn't. I'm like, damn, Marlo, you be all up in her shit. Shit, let her talk, okay? And this is what I wish that Nene was here to either confirm or deny. Because Kenya said she got text messages, she got, you know, missed calls and stuff like that. And let me tell you something, ladies and guys, let me tell you something. At the end of the day, if you don't learn nothing about these from these housewives and all these other reality shows, what we do learn, number one and key, if you get into it with somebody, even if you don't, somebody text you something, somebody send you something, somebody call you, say that shit, okay? Don't delete that shit out your phone. I got text messages from 10 years ago, okay? I got phone calls and stuff from 10 years. Girl, you want to try me? I'm going to pull that shit up and say, bitch, on this day at this time, this is exactly what the fuck you said, okay? It comes in fucking handy, all right? But at the end of the day, Kenya and Nene, they just not going to be cool with each other. And I don't see the problem with it. As long as they just don't mesh well. People don't get together, people don't mesh well, and that's just point blank period. Whew, I gotta stop talking so much about this shit because this review look like it's gonna be long for no reason. Anyway, the whole thing about Kenya provoking people. Kenya, you do provoke people. Kenya, let me tell you something, baby girl. I don't care what you say. You talking about something, you're not a savage. You're not the one that's trying to get up and do nothing or whatever because somebody asked, why did you have to get up and start the stuff at Candy's baby shower, whatever, you know, getting up, going around Nene after y'all just got into it, and you trying to act like you was all innocent and you was just going over there to talk to Shamia, whatever. Listen, girlfriend, you knew exactly what you was doing. You can't tell me or anybody else outside of your little stance no different, okay? Because there was absolutely no reason why you got up and went over there to Shamia. All right in the midst of y'all having a conversation and y'all just getting into it, okay? Nobody knew exactly what you was up to. And ain't nobody saying that you was the type that's gonna go ahead and try to whoop somebody's ass, but don't nobody know what nobody's gonna do, okay? And if we just got into a heated conversation, a heated argument or whatever, it's gonna look funny if you get up and you go over there to where that person is at when you really didn't need to, and you could have went another direction, or you could have went further out to go over there so it could be not misconstrued as you finna start something or possibly provoking a situation, okay? But like Portia was trying to say, that's what it looked like, because she said don't lump me into all the girls, you know. I give Portia that for that moment, but they start going back and forth at this point. Like, Kenya, you provoke people. It's history being shown that you provoke people. And then when they threw Ken Fields' name up there, you acting like you didn't provoke that lady. Ken Fields, first of all, Ken Fields gonna be on a new episode of Insecure tonight. Okay, just tune in an hour and 15 minutes. Okay. But yeah, you provoked that lady. You provoked that lady. You was always fucking with that girl for no goddamn reason. But it is what it is. King, you are a provoker. People don't just come out and just come at you for no goddamn reason all the time. Okay, so like, let's just shut that up. And I'm so glad, you know, it got to a point that Kenya and Portia was just going back and forth. I wasn't following the conversation, so I'm not gonna repeat it. But Andy's son came out there and broke up the monotony of that bullshit. And so that was real cute to see him, you know. And he's a little cutie, and that was that on that. Child, they bring Yvonne on here. Listen, that bitch from Clark, okay? That bitch from Clark needs to take them damn eyelashes off, all right? Because I was so tired of her. I was like, damn, bitch, they too heavy on your eyes. Your eyelid keep fluttering and all that shit like you're trying to get something about. Like you're trying to get something up out of it or whatever. Like, girl, just pull them off, okay? You at home. The eyeliner was okay, okay? That's all you needed. Them eyelashes was a little bit much, but whatever. She got on here basically saying that, you know, her and Nene were cool. Nene basically set her up and put her in as a way to get to the girls and to see who was talking shit about her. Prior to this whole thing, you know, she was getting threatening phone calls. Her lawyer is Michael Sterling, Eva's husband. Eva had to throw it out there. Yes, my baby opened up a private practice 2 years ago, and he's the face of the Cochran firm. My baby works. Okay, girl, we seen him. That's all he did. He the only one that's really been working on this whole show since we've been on here. But since we seen him this season. But anyway, because you wasn't. No shade. I mean, he was pregnant, but Eva was doing what exactly? What exactly? No shade. But yeah, talking about some, you know, she basically was getting cease and desist letters, getting threatening phone calls from blocked numbers, and she pretty sure that it was Nene or whatever, basically saying that you gotta destroy any recordings that she might have had of Nene, okay? And she's trying to figure out what recording she talking about because she ain't recording nothing of Nene. Of course, Marlo's sitting down there like, I said, girl, you now I know you trying to be loyal to your friend, but you can't tell me that, you don't know your friend to do some dirty shit. And I'm not saying that Nene did this stuff because Nene is not here to defend herself, okay? But come on, all right? And then they trying to ask, was it really a recording? What was going on? Is it what was happening? Basically, it wasn't no goddamn recording. She was there because Nene felt a little bit threatened that she was getting a little bit close to some of the girls and she was not. And so therefore that's why she wanted some information on the girls and all that shit. That's why their relationship fell the fuck out. And that's basically it with that, okay? And I'm like, okay, Yvonne, we knew all this, but Yvonne said, listen, girl, I need to come on here and I need to share my piece. And she said, bitch, I'm finna share. I said, okay, girl, we all is. We ain't got shit else to do. So we're trying to get down to this whole thing about, whether or not people believe Giovanna. Giovanna basically said she was put up in there as a pawn to see exactly who was talking shit about Nene. And that's all that it came down for. Okay, she got close to the girls and then she started to form some genuine friendships with some of the girls. And, she wanted to report back to Nene who was saying what. And that's why Nene wanted her to record them and all that stuff. Because they was trying to figure out if, y'all was not speaking or whatever, what is it that you need to be recording us for? Okay, so Cynthia said, listen, at the end of the day, this is what wound up happening. Y'all came to me trying to make it seem like, you was at my winery, you was at my barbecue, you trying to make it seem like you had a recording of me by somebody that, was close to me or whatever, and then come to find out there is none. Have I been talking shit about Nene when I was not friends with her? Yes, as she was talking about me. When I was friends with her, did I talk shit about her? No. Okay. So she was getting pissed off about that. And Giovanna trying to defend herself and trying to say she got receipts to this and trying to explain the reason why this was happening because Portia was trying to bring up some points or whatever. And I see why some of the girls was like believing it because they are against Nene. Some girls were not believing it because they either for Nene or they're just like a little stuff not making sense. And it's Giovanna at the end of the day. We don't know if she's telling the truth 100%. Who y'all believing? Do you believe Giovanna or do you believe not? Because like Portia said, you was at Candy's house or whatever, but you told, or no, when we was having that confrontation or whatever, and Nene didn't even say anything about the Snake Gang situation. She left you sitting there all quiet or whatever. You could have said something right then and there when you realized that Nene wasn't having your back, or you could have said something after that. You didn't. You waited till now to say something, so it's just not adding up for them. Okay. But, Candy also was like on the fence. She in the middle with it because she was like, you came to me and you told, like you said that you implied that you had a recording, but you really didn't, and it just didn't seem right and all this stuff. And Candy was kept on talking. Giovanna was like, the next thing you know, Giovanna speaking in Spanish, telling her, come on, can I talk? Can I talk? Just listen. I said, girl, wait a minute. You Spanish too? What? Puerto Rican, Dominican, Mexican. You got a little spin up in you. Okay, I see Yvonne up here trying to show out. She trying to show out, trying to show she a little educated. She trying to put her little couple of years that she took up in language course in high school to use or whatever. Okay. And I was just like, at the end of the day, Yvonne, these girls, like, Cynthia said what sold it for her, that's the reason why she believes the whole thing is because if she did not say it, if this was not going on what Yvonne was saying, and even Yvonne said she got some receipts about Portia, saying that Nene gave her contact and all that stuff. Why was she giving you your contact if y'all not kicking it and all that stuff? And then, Cynthia was basically like, if it wasn't true, why is Nene not here? The fact that Nene is not here to defend herself or whatever, that goes to show me, and that's all the proof that I need that it's not true. Okay? At this point in time, these friendships are on the rocks if they really were friendships. And I don't know, it sounds like Yvonne could be telling some of the truth. I wish Nene would have been there, because 9 out of 10, Nene probably would have denied it, so we probably still wouldn't have got anywhere. And if they keep saying, I wish they would stop saying, I got the receipts, I got the receipts. If you're gonna say that you have the receipts, please print them bitches out and bring them to the reunion, or please already have them screenshotted and sent to Andy so we can put this shit up there and we can have the proof right then and there, and they can put it in there so it cannot be denied. Even though you can Photoshop some shit. You know what I'm saying? You can Photoshop some shit. But I don't know. Y'all tell me how y'all feel about it, because I feel like Giovanna, ever since she been coming on here, she been trying to get close to people so that she can get a peach, and we just don't click with Giovanna like that. So I can see how people don't believe, and I can see how people can believe. So, and I can see how people are in the middle. What do you believe? Put it down in the comments. Child, this was lackluster to me. Okay, it really didn't give me what I needed. Because I really wish that Nene would have stayed to defend herself, and I keep saying it throughout the review. But she did call Portia, and she wanted to be put on speakerphone and to speak or whatever. And everybody was like, including Andy, why are you on the phone and you got a laptop right there? Just come back to the laptop and we can talk about this, okay? And they was. It was stupid. It was stupid. Portia trying to tell her about Giovanna and all this stuff. And at the end of the day, nobody cared that Nene was gone. Like, nobody wanted to hear what she had to say. She should have stayed. And this gives her a reason, I guess, to further say that she a victim, or, I ain't necessarily say a victim, but act like she a victim, or say people was ganging up on her. And you can't really say that at this point because you the one that decided to leave. Okay, and you didn't want to defend yourself. Was it some truth that was being said? That's what I just want to know. But they do the little wrap up about what they doing with their life. Portia and Candy with the babies, and baby Brooklyn with Kenya, and Cynthia living out there in LA and all that shit. And Eva did apologize to Marlo for calling her, saying that she was the one that was the snake, the one that did the recording, and they was cool with that. And that was basically it. But before they left, Kenya was like, I want to thank Eva, Cynthia, and Candy, for having my back and all that stuff, woo, 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 for being there for me. And of course, Portia sitting there looking like, ain't this about a bitch? She said, you know what? I'm finna hang up with all this, rude and sentimental ass shit. And then Candy was like, we love you too, Portia. Oh, okay. But y'all tell me how y'all felt about, Andy had to let us know that he recorded this whole thing only in his boxer shorts and his only top half. Girl, sis, we already knew that. We already knew that, because bitch, that's how I'm sitting right about now in my drawers, okay? But anyway, y'all tell me how y'all felt about this whole reunion. I will say that given the situation at hand and the way that they had to film the reunion, doing a virtual way, Zoom, like, whatever, they did do a good job. The editing and everything, it did go off without a hitch. And I'm so glad that he did put out there that they had multiple days of tech practice, and that's what you have to do. Okay. I hope the verses was looking at this, or somebody was looking at this and was like, did you hear that? You have to have multiple days of practice so that it can go off without a hitch. Make sure the internet connection is together and everything. But y'all tell me how y'all felt about it, and I will see you guys later on tonight for Insecure. And then put down in the comments, when does Real Housewives of Potomac come back? I know it's in June, but is it like the first week of June, or is it the second week? Put it down in the comments, and that's when we'll have another Real Housewives. See y'all later. Peace. Thank y'all for rocking with me.